My name is Amanda. I'm one of the ambassador care specialists here, and I'm joined by my coworker Amy, who is behind the camera. They'll be helping answer some of your questions today during our program. So we have a new friend to introduce all you guys to. She is one of our ambassador animals that lives behind the scenes here at Franklin Park Zoo. And her name is Nermal. So I'm going to let Nermal out of her crate right now. And once she feels comfortable, she's going to come out onto this table. That might take a little bit depending on when she chooses to do so. When she comes out, hi, come on real quick. You'll be able to see that Nermal here is a long-tailed chinchilla. So let me explain this setup that you see right here. So Nermal is one of our animals that is crate trained. So she voluntarily chooses to go in and out of her crate when asked to do so. So I'm going to leave this crate here on this table, and she has free choice to either come out and hang out with us here on the table or go into her crate for the program. So you might see her come out for a little bit and then run back in and then run back out again, and that's okay. That means she has a choice on whether she wants to participate or not. So actually this is the first time we are showing this type of program presentation to the public or on Facebook Live. She's never done this for a live audience before, so my voice is pretty loud out here and echoey. She has been out here several times for practice rounds with me to get used to this setup. So like I said, she might take a little bit to get comfortable, and that's totally fine. So we're going to give her that option. So like I talked about, our ambassador animals serve as the purpose for you guys to get a more up-close personal interaction with these guys to see their natural behaviors. One of Nermal's natural behaviors you'll see is to run and hide. She is a prey animal, and so she needs to be able to do that in order to feel comfortable in her environment and for her to survive. So she still has those same instincts here, and that's why we always provide a safe space for her to interact with. So I talked about ambassador animals, how important they are, and how we give them choice and control. Nermal is trained, like I said, to go into her crate and also to target as well. So if you've joined us for our other Zoo to Use, you might have remembered a little bit about target training. We talked about that. Nermal is also one of those animals that knows how to do that. And for those of you who don't know what it is, this is what we call a target pole. And they all come in different shapes and forms. And Nermal is trained to put the tip of her nose up to this target when asked to. Nermal, target. So if she chooses not to, she doesn't have to whatsoever. We just give her the choice to do that, but it's basically a way for us to direct her as to where we want to go and another way to communicate with her. So that's a little bit about our training here with Nermal and other animals that we have here at the zoo. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of her natural history. So does anyone have any guesses at all? Where do you think a chinchilla is from? If you have any guesses, feel free to put it into the comments. I'll give you some time for you guys to put those guesses in, and then I'll answer that. But one little hint of it is that these guys actually live in high up mountains where it's pretty cool all the time. So they have a really, really giant fur dense coat. And that coat is there to keep them nice and warm and serves lots of different purposes. So if Nermal decides to come out a little bit farther, you can see how fluffy she looks. And that's important for her to stay nice and warm. Now, this really cool thing about chinchilla's fur is that they actually have anywhere from 50 to 75 hairs in one follicle. So for humans, there's only a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 hair per 1 follicle. These guys have 50 to 75, which is a crazy amount of fur to have on that tiny little body. So that's really important for living in those cold mountainous areas. Another interesting thing about that fur is it actually cannot get wet. So what we do here and what chinchillas do out in their natural environment is we provide a dust bath. So in here what I have is a little bit of chinchilla dust that is made specifically for chinchillas to take a bath in. I don't know if she will participate in her dust bath right here in front of you guys today, but I'm going to give her option to do so. And if she chooses to do so, you might see her roll around in it, and that's her way of taking a bath. and they'll get that a couple times a week. So I did ask if you guys knew where Nermal was naturally found. If you guessed Chile, you are correct. So that is where these guys are native to, like I said, in those mountainous areas. Now you think about, what do you think these guys would be preyed upon, or what animals would be their predators? Many animals, including birds of prey, maybe snakes, and actually us as humans. Oh, are you gonna go in, Nermal? She's thinking about it. There she goes. So, Amy, do you want to bring it a little closer to see if you can see?
Yeah, I can.
She might not stay in, but that's okay.
All right, excuse me, folks. Sorry if it gets a little shaky for a second here. I'm gonna move in a little closer.
So these guys will usually roll all the way around into their dust bath to get a nice, nice little cleaning. She might not do that today, and that's okay. This is kind of a new idea for her, but thank you guys so much for joining us for a practice run for you guys. So let's talk about their predators. So we said birds of prey, lots of different types of snakes, and even us. So chinchillas, actually one of their biggest threats were people. So quite a while ago, people were hunting chinchillas for their fur. Think about how fluffy their fur is and how that might be appealing to have for a fur coat. But then look at the size of Nermal and think about how many Nermals it would take to make one full coat. And that's a lot of chinchillas. So that can actually play a big part in their population out in their wild. So they are protected by an Endangered Species Act, so that way people cannot hunt them anymore. That doesn't mean that 100% of the time that doesn't happen, but it's actually increased their populations quite a bit. Another factor in that is population or habitat loss itself. So their habitat is something that's really hard to restore, especially because it's so high up in those mountains. So those are other things that have to do with their population numbers. You might be wondering what I'm feeding Nermal right now. So our chinchillas have an interesting taste in what they find as fun treats. So right now I have pieces of kale and sunflower seeds. And kale is actually the highest value food that Nermal seems to really enjoy, which is really funny to think of kale as being your favorite snack, as well as sunflower seeds and grapes. These guys in the wild would eat lots of different types of grassy elements. They would eat fruits and veggies that they would find. Here at Franklin Park Zoo, they would eat different types of, I'm gonna let her go there, different types of vegetables, including carrot and sweet potato. And then they also eat a chinchilla pellet that's just dry food made just for chinchillas, so they get their nutrients that they need. So Nermal seems to be enjoying her dust bath a little bit, which is awesome. That's exactly what we want her to do right now. It shows that she's comfortable out on these tables. I also wanted to talk a little bit about their conservation status. Like I said, they are considered an endangered animal. These guys here, like Nermal, is a domesticated chinchilla, which is a little bit different from a wild chinchilla. Chinchillas out in the mountains actually tend to be quite a bit smaller than Nermal is here and a little bit different of color. So that makes a little bit of domesticated difference. One question you guys might be asking is if Nermal would make a good pet, and that's a tricky question to answer. Here at Franklin Park Zoo, we don't really advocate for chinchillas to be pets for many different reasons. One, their lifespan is pretty long. They can live about up to 20 years under human care and 10 in their natural environment. So that's quite a big difference. Nermal here is 9 years old, so she still has quite a long life to go. So that's a big commitment for a pet. These guys also require a big specific temperature requirement for their home and require different types of cleaning and care. So we definitely don't recommend them for a good household pet. But if you do want to get more close experiences with chinchillas and other animals like her, definitely feel free to come visit the zoo to get those experiences. And that's the best way you can get up close with a chinchilla. So do we have any questions, Amy, at all?
So we did have a question from Cheryl about why Nermal's a little bit bigger than some of the chinchillas they've seen.
That's great. It's a great question. So every chinchilla is a little bit different, just how you and me are a little bit different in size as well. So Nermal is probably bred to be a little bit bigger. Her sister Tribble, actually, who also lives here, is quite smaller than Nermal. So that I would just say Nermal eats probably a little bit more than Tribble. and she just tends to be a little bit bigger, just like you and me are a little bit different in size.
The females do tend to be a little bit larger than the males as well. So if you've seen a smaller one, there's a possibility, could have just been a smaller chinchilla, but also possibly a male as well.
Any other questions?
Michaela was wondering what type of animal this is.
This is a long-tailed chinchilla.
All right, do you folks have any other questions you'd like for us to answer?
I think we're good, Amy, right?
All right, I think we're all set.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for another Zoo to You. Check back tomorrow and the rest of this week at 1:30 for more animal encounters. Thank you guys so much for supporting us here at Franklin Park Zoo. We are still here taking care of the animals every day, and we hope to enjoy you again tomorrow at 1:30. Bye, guys.
Right before we log off, I did have, apologize, Laverne or CJ asked how big they get. So Nermal is actually full grown. So this is as big as chinchillas get. All right, guys, thanks for joining us.